The next question we need to answer is this evidence important? So first condition was it should be valid, and we decided that this study is reporting us a valid evidence. Now, if it is valid, then let us see whether it is important. How likely are the outcomes over time, and how precise are the estimates of likelihood? For this purpose, I would like to draw your attention to table 3. In the table 3, they have this is about the effect of molecular markers on death from prostate cancer. So they did a regression analysis, adjusted and unadjusted and adjusted. So we better, of course, we focus on the adjusted hazard ratios. And you see the marker here, BCL2. If it is positive, compared to negative they have used as a reference, compared to negative, it has a hazard ratio of 1.61. If you have watched our previous presentation, you should be able to tell that a hazard ratio is interpreted, it's a risk ratio, and it is interpreted similar to the odds ratio or relative risk. And if it is high, that means there is a high risk of hazard. And this is always given with the confidence interval, the 95% confidence interval. Let's look at the confidence interval. It is from, it may ranges from 1.01 to 2.57. So how to interpret this? First of all, remember the hazard ratio or odds ratio of a risk condition. The confidence interval should not include 1. If it is including 1, that means the p-value was non-significant. That means less than 0.05. Okay, that's one rule you should be keeping in mind. And here in this case, it is not including the 1. It is from 1.01, so very close to 1 actually. If it would be 1, that should be interpreted as non-significant. And we have a p-value, you see, very close to the threshold, 0.045. But anyways, it looks like it is a significant risk factor, hazard factor, this positivity of the BCL2. And how much important is it? It is 1.6, it is increasing the hazard ratio by 1.6 times. Does this make a clinical sense for you? Is it clinically important? 1.6 times. If you have a positive BCL2, there is a 1 adjusted hazard 1.6 times. Yes, I would say 1.6. It is, it should be accepted as important, I think, because of course, if it is much higher, like the P53, for example, another marker, its positivity is lower. The risk is lower, 1.48, and the confidence interval, look please, the confidence, we expect the confidence interval to be narrow to claim a precise measurement. Here, in both cases, the confidence intervals are not that narrow. It ranges from 1 to 2.5, from 1 something to 2.0. So we cannot claim a very precise measurement. And on the other hand, the hazard ratio is not that high. It is 1.6 for the BCL2 and 1.4 or 5 for the P53. So, but for microvessel density, you see, we have if you have a high microvessel density, that is giving you a hazard ratio of 3.2, and the p-value is also very significant. In this case, 3 times more risk would be clinically more important for me. I think you would have similar opinions. Anyways, so what we checked here, we checked the hazard ratio, adjusted hazard ratio preferably, and we checked the magnitude, it's whether it is high or low. It is 1.6, 1.4, not that high, not very high. So we can claim that BCI, these markers, are important prognostic factors, but not very important, not so, their hazard ratio is not so high. And the confidence intervals are not very narrow. That means we cannot claim a very precise measurement. Stop recording.